Hello students, today we shall start the lesson chemical bonding. What is chemical bonding? It is a bonding between an atom showing that they attain the stability. What is stability? Stability here refers to as a stable electronic configuration. So how to attain the stable electronic configuration? To attain the stability, these atoms tends to combine chemically by redistribution of electrons in the outermost shell or valence shell so that each is left with a stable electronic configuration. So this stable electronic configurations can be attained either by duplet or octet. Either by duplet or octet. So duplet here refers the shells having two electrons in the outer shell. It is applicable only for the helium, whereas the octet is applicable for the other elements which having 8 electrons in the outermost shell. So this simply we refers to as the electron arrangement of an inert gases, or to attain the stability of nearest noble gas configuration. We can say the electron arrangement of a nearest noble gas configuration. Okay. So what is this chemical bond? This a force of attraction between any two atoms in a molecules to maintain stability. So chemical bond refers here the force of attraction between any two atoms in a molecule to maintain stability. So this force of attraction, how the force of attractions can be attained? This force of attractions can be attained by three ways. The first one is the transfer of one or more electrons from one atom to other. This we can say as ionic bond or electrovalent bond. This we can say as ionic bond or electrovalent bond. So what is that? The transfer of one or more electrons from one atom to other atom. So one atom transferring one electron to other atom. The transfer of electron. In this case, what happened? One atom is giving and the other atom is receiving. This type of transferring is called as ionic bond. It is also called as electrovalent bond. And the second one is sharing of one or two or three pairs of electrons between two atoms. They are called as covalent bond. Here, they are not share transfer, they are sharing. Sharing of one or two or three pairs of electrons between two atoms. They are called as covalent. And third one is shared pair of electrons contributed by only one of the combined atom is called coordinate bond. There is a small difference between covalent and coordinate bond. In covalent bond, sharing can be made by both the atoms in those cases. But in the coordinate bonding, the shared pair of electrons contributed by only one of the combining atoms. Hence, it is called as coordinate bond. A simple example to understand about this ionic bond, covalent bond, and coordinate bond is like a giving of chocolates. Okay, so when you have chocolates, you are giving chocolates to your friends, and your friend giving chocolates to you. So mutually, are you are sharing your chocolates. That is called as the covalent bond. That is called as covalent bond. And your friend don't have chocolates. You have chocolates with you, and you are giving one chocolate to your friend. Your friend receiving the chocolate. Okay, this is an example of ionic bond or electrovalent bond. So shared pair of electrons is nothing but friends don't have chocolate and you are giving your one chocolate, only one chocolate by breaking into two pieces and shared with your friends is coordinate bond. So this example you can easily understand what is the ionic bond, covalent bond and coordinate bond. Okay, here the covalent bond. Let's see what is the covalent bond. A bonding between metals and non-metals. How the covalent bond occurs? The covalent bond occurs between metal and non-metal. And metallic elements loses electron, form electropositive elements. So what are the metallic elements? Metallic elements are sodium, potassium, calcium, or the metallic elements when they are losing an electron. Here you can see this Na minus electron. So sodium, from sodium atom, one electron is to be lost to form as Na plus, electropositive element. This electropositive element, Na plus electropositive element, is also known to be as cation. Similarly, the non-metallic elements electrons from electronegative elements. Accepts electrons from electronegative elements, which means halogen group of elements. For an example, chlorine here we given on receiving electron, you can see plus electron. Here Na minus electron. So chlorine on receiving electron to form Cl minus. This is an electronegative element. This electronegative element is also known to be as anion. And we have certain conditions for this formation of this electrovalent bond. So what are the conditions for the formation of an electrovalent bond, otherwise termed to be as ionic bond? Here we are listing three main conditions. So what are they? It should be have a low ionization potential. You might have remember the uh, properties learned in the last chapter, periodic properties. Okay, we have to recall those properties here. So low ionization potential. So what happens for the low ionization potential? When we have a low ionization potential, the cations formed easily. The cations formed easily. How? It can easily lose an electron to form cation. So when low ionization is ionization potential are there, it loses electron easily and form cation. And second one is high electron affinity. Second condition is high electron affinity. So when you have high electron affinity, anion will be formed easily. So first condition, low ionization potential, that results in the formation of cation. High electron affinity helps to form the anion easily. And third one is large electronegativity differences. Third one is large electronegativity differences. So what happens here? Ionic nature will be more. What is ionic nature? The formation of either Na plus or Cl minus, that is ionic nature. So large electronegativity differences results for the ionic nature. So these are the three main conditions for the formation of electrovalent bond. If you look at here, Na plus and Cl minus. Okay, so this is a good example for the electrovalent bond formation, and is one of the most important example. And in the syllabus we have another two examples, like calcium oxide CaO, and third one is magnesium chloride MgCl2. So these are the some of the examples of electrovalent bond. And you may have you'll be asking one questions like why are ionic compounds are stable? Generally ionic compounds are stable. Why they are highly stable? So here is the answer for this. Higher electrostatic force of attraction makes the ionic compound stable. What is higher electrostatic force of attraction? And each ions Na plus or Cl minus, they are continually to give a repulsive force between the ions. Same charges attracts, as you may know the magnetic concept, same charges attracts and different charges are repulsed. Here there exists a repulsive force between ions for the like charges. Even though they are same charges, they exist a little repulsive force, but compared to the repulsive force, this higher electrostatic force of attraction, higher force of attraction between these two ions makes the ionic compound stable. So when we have questions like why ionic compounds are stable, you should give this answer. Okay, here. The third one is orbit structure, dot structure of electrovalent compound. So as we are going through this first type of compound, electrovalent compound, these two are very important. Orbit structure have not been asked in the last year syllabus and not there in the syllabus, but even though we have to go through this, since we are learning this from the lower class 8th and 9th, we have to go through this. First, sodium chloride NaCl, the orbit structures, and here you can see this diagram. Na, sodium, and Cl, chlorine. And sodium atom have three shells: K shell, L shell, M shell. In other words, shell 1, 2, 3. In the first shell, it contains 2 electrons represented here, and the second shell contains 8 electrons represented here, and third shell contain only 1 electron. Here the electrons here placed. Here chlorine, if you take if you consider, it also consists of 3 shells. So that is the first shell, second shell, and third shell. The first shell have 2 electrons, second shell have 8 electrons, and third shell have 7 electrons. Here this sodium, on losing an electron, it transferring, okay, it's giving off an electron. This electron which are present in the outer shell is giving to the chlorine. So sodium loses one electron, okay, and become Na plus, at the same time chlorine receiving the shared electrons, transferred electrons, so it accepted one electron and become Cl minus. After this transfer occur, so what happens, this Na, okay, now have only 2 shells, that is 2 comma 8. Now the sodium atom now become as sodium ion, okay, and also here chlorine ions remains 3 shells, but in the outer shell instead of 7 electrons, 8 electrons now having. Okay, so since they have 8 electrons, received one ion from sodium, now they are called as chlorine ion. If you closely look at this, the sodium ion now have the electronic configuration 2 comma 8 is not the configuration of sodium atom. This is the configuration of nearest noble gas. So what is the nearest noble gas? That is helium. 2 comma 8 is the configuration of helium. Similarly, 2 comma 8 comma 8 is the configuration of argon, nearest noble gas. So when you are representing this, you have to show by a square bracket over outer having a positive charge. And also you have to represent this oppositely facing arrow to shows that they have a Coulomb charges. Coulomb charges here refers to electrostatic force of attraction. Okay, and what is the difference between the dot charge and orbital structure? In dot structure, we are representing by with the dots to the elements. We are not drawing the orbits here. We are just drawing the dots. Here the dots is nothing but the number of electrons present in the outer shell. That's it. Here in sodium we have only 1 electrons in the outer shell. So I have represented here. Chlorine having 7 I have represented here. So sodium giving off 1 electrons to chlorine. After transfer, Na plus Cl minus. So you have to write this after the formation Na plus Cl minus, or you may simply write as NaCl. For conveniently, you have to write Na plus Cl minus only during the examination, so that you won't lose any marks. Okay. The second example we can take magnesium chloride. That is here Mg, 2 electrons in the outer shell, chlorine, 2 chlorines are there, each having 7 in the outer shell. So magnesium give off its 1 electron to both chlorines, and after the sharing of electrons, Mg become less of 2 electrons, they have Mg2 plus, and no need of writing plus here. You can simply write this Cl, and how many electrons are less? How many electrons are more here for chlorine? 2 chlorines, 2 electrons. Since we are having 2 chlorine, we have to write 2 before this Cl, and Cl have to be placed by means of this square brackets. Usually for 2 number of chlorine or 1 molecule of chlorine, we used to write as Cl2 down subscript, but here we are not writing that. So we have to represent this like only. Okay. And the third example is calcium oxide. Calcium having 2 electrons in the outer shell and oxygen having 8 electrons in the outer shell. Out of 8, 6 are present and 2 are available. 2 space are available for electron. So calcium giving off its 2 electron to oxygen. After transfer, Ca become Ca2 plus and oxygen received 2 number of electrons that we have to represent by means of this 2 minus. And here also we should have a 1 minus charge over outer state. Okay. Next, redox process. So with this continuation of electrovalent compound, a part of electrovalent compound. What is this redox process? This redox process is nothing but a combination of oxidation reaction and reduction reaction. So what is the oxidation reaction? So in terms of electrons, loss of electron is oxidation. What is reduction? Gain of electrons is reduction. So here oxidation reactions can be attained by electropositive atom, as we learnt in the previous slides, that is Na plus Mg2 plus. Okay, they all comes under electropositive atoms, okay, which undergoes oxidation reaction. So electronegative atoms are Cl minus, so they comes under reduction. When these oxidation reactions and reduction reactions occurs together, and they are called as redox process or redox reactions. Usually in electrovalent bond formation, this oxidation reductions occurs together only. So in other words, we can say the formation of electrovalent compound or the formation of electrovalent bond is a redox process. It is easy to understand. Let's take an example of NaCl. 2 atom of sodium plus 1 molecule of chlorine, here it is react to form, after this reduction oxidation gets over, to form 2 Na plus plus 2 Cl minus. This you may find difficult to understand this, so that we are doing this as a off reactions. Okay, so what is off reaction? Off reaction is nothing but splitting and showing the reactions into oxidation and reduction. So in this oxidation reactions, see this Na become Na plus. So 2 atom of Na on the left hand side. On right side we are writing this 2 Na plus plus 2 electrons, which means that after losing electron, this we can write as Na plus plus 2 electrons. It is also can be represented, this plus 2a which I have written on the right side, we can also write on the left hand side 2 Na minus 2 electron, that also we can use, nothing wrong. Here reduction, Cl minus Cl2 plus 2 electrons, that is receiving 2 electrons to form 2 Cl minus. So separately writing these two equation, and together we are showing adding these two, 2 Na plus Cl2, which gives 2 Na plus plus 2 Cl minus. This is an redox reaction. So oxidation and reductions always occur simultaneously. Already I have told you this. So one more example to understand in depth here. Copper oxide plus hydrogen gives copper plus water. Here this copper oxide is leads to the formation of copper atom. So copper oxide formed as copper. This conversion of copper oxide into copper is a reduction reaction. Similarly, the conversion of hydrogen into water is oxidation reaction. So already I have told oxidation reaction means loss of electron. Here oxidation reaction losses its electron and to form as water. In lower classes would have learned that further additional definition for the oxidation, addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen is oxidation. Addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen. Similarly for reduction reaction, addition of hydrogen and removal of oxygen, so that it applicable here also. So from copper oxide, oxygen is removed to form copper. reduction reaction. In oxidation reaction, oxygen is to get added, oxidation reaction. So here I have written here oxidizing agent, copper oxide as oxidizing agent and hydrogen as reducing agent. Why? Here the copper oxide is element which are compound which are using for the conversion of copper. So this copper oxide is act as a oxidizing agent. Similarly, this here hydrogen is used for the formation of water. So hydrogen is act as a reducing agent. Okay. So out of these three topics, three types of bonding, electrovalent bond, covalent bond and coordinate bond. We have completed the first one, that is electrovalent bond. So in the electrovalent bond, we have learned that how the bonds are forming, definitions, conditions, examples, and the structure of orbit and as well as the dot structure. Also, we learned about the redox process. Here is a small homework for you. How to try this and write this workup and split into off reactions, oxidation reaction, redox reactions for each one of them. Okay. Thank you.